Sometimes I think what we're talking about in that first reading evades us. We get so caught up in our days. We get so caught up in the moment, in the pressure of the moment, the pressure of the week. I got 3 exams. I got two papers. I got all this. And everything seems to be pounding down on top of us. And though I believe it's tremendously important to live in the day, I think it's also important to know that there is a tomorrow, and that what might be oppressive today will change. You just need to do what is best for you today. And in that first reading, that's all the Habakkuk is describing. Everything's falling apart. Everything is falling apart. And so half the talk is just that. Then the other half, God reminds him, remember, I am here. I am your God. You have a vision. Hold on to that vision. You know who you are called to be. Hold on to that call. Now, as I say that, I know that many of you are seeking your vision right now. You're trying to make clear where it is that you should be going. But know that the vision we're talking about is a larger vision than just your personal one. Okay? The world that you live in with just a private ego, there's a vision there for you, yes. There's another vision that fits into the culture, the family, the time in which you live. But the biggest culture, if you want to do that, the biggest place we belong, the overriding place, the dome of all knowledge is God. That's where we're going. That's where the vision should end up. So we always count on that, and God will not betray us. Constantly in the Old Testament, the theme is, and God remembered Noah, and God remembered us, and God saved them from the Israelites from the Egyptians, and God saved the Israelites and the Babylonians. God is constantly reaching out and saving them as a people and as individuals. God is with us. How he saves us is this way. He converts our minds and our hearts to him, to where we believe. The apostle said, Lord, increase our faith. He said, I can't increase it to make it bigger, but I can make it more intense. I can gather it like a lead and make it powerfully weighty within you. And you will know that I am your God. You will know this. And your worries will kind of go away. Your prayers won't get answered the way you want, I'm sure. A lot of you are not going to pass tests you'd love to pass just because you said a nice prayer. I'm sorry, And you may not get into the university you'd like to get into because you said a prayer. But what will happen is if you allow God to change you as you pray, did God allow you to open yourself to his presence? I said this morning that I've learned only one thing clearly, and that is that there is a God. Well, 2 things. There is a God, and it's not me. And that's really important to understand. There is a God, and I'm not in charge. I'm not the person calling the shots. Now, do I trust this God or not? In the second reading, he calls upon us, Paul calls upon us, and he's talking to Timothy, to live the spirit that's been given to you. This morning we had 3 baptisms and a confirmation. It's a powerful experience for me to experience the Spirit of God being present here in a unique and special way. He's always here. But in these sacraments, the sacrament of baptism, the sacrament of confirmation, God says, my Spirit will be with you. I will anoint you. And for me, it was almost palpable. I could touch it. That Spirit was real. It's real to me because I look for it. It's real to me because he has been present to me in the past. It's real to me because I know he will come to me. It's real to you if you can just remember. I talked to one woman the other day and she said, the Spirit of God became real to me when I was 10 years old and I walked out of church. I was holding my father's hand and I looked up at a snowflake and she had her hands out like this. A snowflake hit me right in the face. And she said, I knew that God had answered my prayer. It's so silly. It's so simple. It's so real. That's where we meet God. And she needs to tell that story more than to me. She needs to tell that to people she knows. You need to tell your story of how God has touched you. You need to share your faith, your experience. When they say in the gospel, increase our faith, it's not give me the words to defend my faith. You know, we've been talking for years now, we have to learn how to defend the faith. No, I'm sorry. I just don't buy that at all. What we have to learn to do is to share the love that God has given to us with each other. You can tell they are Christians by their love, not by what they know. This is a rule. This is a tenet. This is a doctrine. This is nonsense. What's important is how do I love? And do I tell people about my love? Do I tell how God has transformed me through other people? I say it often, I think, but maybe I don't say it often enough. Newman and the students at Newman have transformed me. Not because you taught me doctrines, but because you've loved me, because you've accepted me. You've told me, Bill, this is where you belong. And I've met God here. And you can meet God here every day. You can meet God across the street and the people that you bump into. You meet God when you look into that mirror I keep trying to tell you to look into. You've got to look for God. And then when you find him, you must share him. Share the vision. Share the hope. Share the love.